Hello, class. My name is Norberto Lopez, and I'm going to be talking about how my environment shaped who I am as a person. Think about where you grew up. Was it in the city? Was it a nice area? Or maybe it was even in the hood? And think about how that affected you. How did that affect the way you talk? How did it even affect the way that you think? My speech will be diving into how my environment shaped who I am and gave me my identity. I believe understanding the effects that your environment had on your childhood is extremely important. It can really help you understand yourself and your background and why you are the person that you are. Growing up in a diverse neighborhood shaped my identity through economic challenges, the influence of my family, and the advancement of technology throughout my lifetime. Now that I mentioned how my environment shaped who I am as a person, today I'm going to be diving through the specific points which made that happen. The first thing I want to touch on are the economic challenges that I faced. I grew up in a lower class family. We didn't have everything we wanted, whether it was McDonald's or even the newest Nike shoes. Having to check the price on everything that we bought was extremely stressful. Being always told, no, we can't have that. No, we have this. We got to save. That did something to me as a kid, really shut me down and not want to ask for things anymore. We lost my childhood home after my mother and father got divorced. My mother was left to fend with two young boys, and that really led to the house being foreclosed because we couldn't afford it. Having to leave all those old, beautiful memories and having to leave something that was really ours and mine and somewhere I had so much love for really built a lot of resentment in me and anger towards my parents and even towards this new home, as ungrateful as it sounds. And this really instilled a work ethic in me like no other. Every day I work harder and harder so I can have a different outcome for my family, for my kids. I really don't believe all is doom and gloom. In fact, I really think going through this was a good thing because it made me hungry not for food but for success and to make my mother proud by any means. The next thing I want to dive into is the influence that my family had on me. I grew up in a typical Hispanic family. This meant huge parties, lots of church, and having each other's backs no matter what. Growing up with my grandpa really showed me the old ways of the Mexican culture that stuck with me to this day. Things like church on Sundays and always having dinner with your family showed me that things were more important in life than money and monetary gains as long as you had your family. The importance of family had been instilled in me since I was young, for good and bad. Every one of my family members had each other's backs. My grandpa told me that you have to be there for your relatives no matter what the family drama is going on or what they needed. I've seen various family members let each other borrow money, clothes, live in their houses, get them out of jail, even get into fights with them. The examples are endless, but these taught me that I got to be there for them no matter what because they were there for me and they always had my backs no matter what. But as bright and as straightforward as I might be making things seem, we did have our problems. Just like any other family, we had a big problem with alcohol and really people enabling alcoholics. Looking back on this, it really gave me a warped sense of alcohol and really developed this hatred towards alcohol and addiction. And it just, I think it's really because I've seen what it can do. I've seen it break marriages and break relationships with kids. And, that made me think, I do not want that for myself and for my family. The last thing I want to touch on is the influence of technology. Growing up in the early 2000s, man, I seen the development of technology into what it is today. Social media, video games, texting, they've taken over my generation. The endless access to easy communication have made, if I'm being brutally honest, have made me dependent on my cell phones and on the internet. Since I've been younger, it's made me relying on my phone, and this made me think about how I would have turned out without the use of cell phones in my life. I don't think everything was bad though, because I think technology gave me a different view of the world than I think I would have had if I didn't have it. I look at my grandpa and my elders, they didn't have such a big influence of technology on them and didn't have to keep up with the advancement of technology. But that also means they didn't see everything that's out there. Like I got to see different countries, cultures, and foods. And this made me really use the internet differently, used it to work for me instead of using it for procrastination and just for entertainment. Now that I examine the impacts of technology, family, and economic struggles and what they had on me, the influence had on me, let me summarize how these shaped my identity. While exploring how my environment shaped me, I really gained new insights into finding myself and finding who I am as a person. from my family struggles, from the instability of economic funds and the influence that my family had on me, to even trying to adapt to the always innovating wave of technology, I realized why I have this certain worldview, and it really helped me pinpoint my character. Reflecting all these experiences, I was able to come to the realization that I really had a determination to succeed, and I knew the value of hard work and to even be resourceful to make things stretch. Through each main point that I, went back and really dove through and thought about all the memories, I was able to see how I can improve and heal from certain things that shaped my identity. I really urge everyone listening to my speech to also reflect on their past. And when you do this, consider some really main points of your environment and how they have affected you. Think about the good and the bad you went through, whether it be trauma, or anything good, bad. Think about how you can use that for your own personal growth. I think we should all do that, take a step back and really understand our path and use it to bring us to a brighter and more positive future. Thank you for listening to my speech, and that was how my environment shaped who I am.